what we're losing in Paget is not just the lands that families have protected and built on, but also ancestral lands, ancestral burial grounds, and beautiful sites that when the Marines are stomping through those jungles and firing their guns will be disturbed. I'm from Tuatsu, and just a month ago, the Army Corps of Engineers finally came to our land asking to inspect it because it was contaminated during the war. More than 60 years later, they are now knocking on our door saying, "Can we look in your backyard and see what damage we have done?" More than 60 years later. More land being taken for firing of weapons and grenades means more contamination. And as Mrs. Nelson pointed out, in the States, people fight to protect their environment. They fight for the right to protect their land. And here we can't sit idly by and just watch our lands be taken any longer. When this buildup started, our Congresswoman constantly reminded people, your lands are going to be worth more. The value of your land is going to increase. That is culturally irrelevant. When I was a child, my grandmother and my mother to this day always tell me, never sell your land. That is what we have to pass down to our children. There are people in the United States who immigrate to that country, and because they do not own land, because they work their lives away paying rent, can never establish wealth, can never establish something for their family that they can pass on. We have been given lands, and those of us who still hold on to the lands that were passed down to us need to hold on tightly. Those of you who are in power right now need to support legislation like this to protect that legacy. Anything that has been given to us from our ancestors needs to be held on to, because today, more than ever, all of it is at stake. Enough is enough. And I respect senators who are willing to say that enough is enough. On a more positive note, I think that we as a community are finally starting to speak out, and we need to come together even more. Despite our different visions of what our future will look like, there needs to be a unity of our people. We need to be able to say, it is not a done deal. It is not right for someone to come in and take our land. It is not right for someone to come in and say, this is what your future will look like. Instead, I urge everyone here, from senators to families to spectators on the television, to really begin to voice what you envision for our future. There are a group of us that have been working to try and respond to this draft EIS because it is a massive document that literally lays out a future that we don't want for ourselves. And so there are a few places in which people can be involved. This Saturday, January 2nd, we would like to take a group of people, including senators, to Paget to see what is being threatened to be taken, from the caves to the ancestral sites that are there. We're going to be meeting at Winchell's in Mangilao at 9 a.m. this Saturday, and we'd like to take anybody interested in coming to the Paget sites. Also, the EIS town hall meetings are next week, and we can't let them say that we did not respond. And so the first meeting is on January 7th at Southern High, and the second meeting is on January 9th at UOG, and we'd like to have a demonstration in which all of our community comes out and says that we do not support what is being planned for us. I'd like to invite everybody listening to attend these town halls and to attend the hike this weekend. Paget, for me, was a place that I went to as a high school student at GW for running. We used to run that back road to Anderson every week for practice. And it's so beautiful, and that changed my life largely, belonging to a team, being able to do something after school instead of just sitting at home. And when I read the EIS in the section that said, because this area is used for recreational purposes, now people can begin to exercise indoors, it broke my heart. That is not fair to our youth. That is not fair to the people who frequent that area. And to tell our people who have been polluted with toxins, who are suffering from cancers and heart disease, that they need to exercise indoors when this is a perfect place of land that our youth go to, is insulting. And so on January 2nd, we will show people that these lands are there for us to not only learn from, but also exercise in. And so I hope that everyone can begin to make a New Year's resolution to protect their bodies and to protect the land, because both are being threatened. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Belta Scambilleri, welcome.